Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Shlog. I would say good morning, except for that it's already 1:42 today, and it's been already nutty day. It's a Tuesday. It's always a little bit crazy. We got Eric here, who just bought that beautiful, clean, really clean KX250. I know you guys have seen it. 5 rides on it. And what happened, Eric?
Well, I ran into my friend's son and wrecked the radiator shroud.
And look at his arm right there.
And I can't, oh, dang. I actually have to hold it up on my other arm. And when I took a tumble from hitting him, I impacted my elbow on the ground and jammed my shoulder. So now, as you just saw, that's about as high as I can. Oh, I got it.
There we go. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, and so then I needed to get my confidence back. So I went and rode the bike again. And I decided to go play out in the flat desert rain ruts. And I went to brap over one of the ruts and I just shifted back too far and whiskey throttled and it looped out. And there's video coming on my channel and it broke the rear subframe.
I'll put a card right here for Eric's channel, by the way, so check that out.
Broke the rear subframe, bananaed my clutch lever, bent my brake lever, and bent my handlebar mount about a quarter of an inch.
And filled the silencer full of dirt.
Oh yeah, filled the silencer full of dirt. Like, not just a little bit, completely packed. Like,
turned it off. So.
I tried pushing on it and couldn't get it out. It's in there.
So yeah, we'll definitely get you guys a link to his channel so you can check that out, because it was such a nice bike.
It was.
And
not anymore.
Less so now, but that's all right. It's broken in. Now I can just go ride the thing.
That's right.
So yeah, guys, we're gonna have to get after this thing. I got a ton of work to do. Let's get on with the Daily Shlog. All right, guys, Mr. Sheets, the angriest man, is showing his anger well and handling it. Oh, look at that. Oh, there's the smile. That's an angry smile. But working on the, what is this thing, a TTR 225? Yeah. Working on a TTR 225, which would make a lot of people pretty angry. But replacing the air boot is all torn and gnarly. He just got done with some mini bikes. One KTM 50, needed a new clutch, new tire, everything else seems good on it. This XR70 finally got a throttle cable for it. Is it still not running right?
It's still acting up.
So it's still weird. I might fiddle with that here real fast, but what's happening today on my lift very soon is this lovely KTM 350 XCF. We're doing a full race prep and getting it dialed in for our customer CJ. He is going racing finally this weekend. They're finally getting back to racing after all this COVID junk, and so we got to get this thing dialed in for him. We got all new plastics and graphics, tires. We're going to touch every nut and bolt on it and make sure it's all ready to rock and roll for him for this weekend. So we'll check in here with you guys in just a bit when we get started on that thing. So, it just got loud, of course, but let's talk about what we're going to do to this 350 XCF to get it ready to go racing. I mentioned we have plastics and other stuff, but I'm just going to go over kind of what our checklist is that we use to get a bike really for any service, but especially for race service. I'm going to start, obviously, with an oil change, new filter, air filter service, which this one definitely needs. Actually, that's just like one day of riding in the dust around here. But then what we're going to do is we're going to start going through every nut and bolt on this thing and making sure they're tight. We're going to go with subframe bolts, you know, both sets. We're going to swing arm pivot, all the motor mount bolts. We're going to check and tighten all the spokes. This thing's getting new tires, new chain sprockets, so we're going to be obviously doing that. Going to obviously set chain tension, but if we weren't, we'd be checking our chain adjusters, making sure they're good. bolts on the exhaust. There we go. Bolts on the exhaust. Triple clamp bolts. So these bolts right up here on the triple clamp on KTMs really don't take very much torque at all. That's like 17 Newton meters, I think, on this, and maybe that's 12 and that's 17 or 17 12. I'll look it up, but it says it actually right on the thing. So that one's 12. So checking that, we're gonna put new plastics on his hand guards, new grips, go through all the controls, make sure all those bolts are tight and they're right where they need to be. Gonna check things like cotter pins on the foot pegs, make sure they're there. Gonna bleed the brakes, make sure they have fresh fluid and everything. It's got a recluse, so we'll check the adjustment on that, make sure it's good. But basically, yeah, we're going through the whole thing, tip to tail, make sure this thing is good to go. Gonna start with an oil change and the rear tire. That's what I'm gonna start with. Probably gonna finish with the plastic since I'm gonna be touching it with my greasy hands until then, so I'll probably wait till the very end, wash my hands up and put the plastics on. Big thanks to Sean Murdoch at DeCal Works for the plastics and graphics. They're gonna look good. Wait till you see them. It's gonna look awesome. Yeah, so let's get started on this thing. Backside looks pretty good. There's a thin film of dust on the inside, so I gotta talk to him and make sure he's doing his job right. But it's really thin, so I think he's okay. But you don't want any dirt on the wrong side. All right, guys. Quick trivia question. And actually, I don't know the answer. I think I know the answer. But in what year did KTM decide that these bolts should be 8mm and not, or excuse me, 6mm, 8mm head? They've always been 8mm head. Why? At what year did they decide that the bolt itself should be a 6 instead of a 5? If you have an older KTM, you may know that that was a thing, and they stripped out all the time, and they caused all kinds of problems. They finally upgraded them. But what year? Comment below. First person to get that right, I will pin your comment to the top, and I'll send you something special in the mail. So, yeah, comment below what year it was that they started coming with the full 6mm and not the 5. Oil looks pretty good on this. As I mentioned before, check it out. So as you can see, that is not what you want. No dirt on the wrong side of the air filter, people. No dirt. So it's been quite a few episodes since I've yelled about air filters, but I'm gonna do it right now. Service your air filter, do it really well, do it more often than you think. All right, guys. So I know I've shown this before, but quick tech tip on removing the oil filter on your KTM. Because they're like that. They're, you know, the holes on the inside, they're kind of hard to get to. Set of snap ring pliers, squeeze in, pull out, just like that. This is already the new one. I just thought of it afterwards, but put that sucker in there. Like I said, super duper quick tech tip. The other thing is, guys, I really like high flow filters. No, they didn't pay me to say that. I don't care. They're awesome. They're just as good as the K&N, just as good as OEM. I've cut them apart, I've pulled them apart, they look identical to them, and they filter really well, but they're way less money. Like, for instance, $6.27 compared to like 15 or so. I don't know how much the KTM ones are. So yeah, I like those a lot. Yeah, get back after this thing. All right, so we got the oil changed. Air filter is drying. I cleaned out the air box, got that dust out of there. Now is when I like to just go around with a 45 Torx and hit all the bolts that have 45 Torx on them. And I kind of just do one size thing at a time and just walk all the way around the bike. So I'm going to start with, I wouldn't normally start with this, but I realized we got to put the plastic on it for that. So, but start with the kickstand. Ooh, and see, I just got some turns out of it. Like, things loosen up, people, as you ride them. It just happens. It's not bad. It's just the way it is. motor mount got a little turn on it. So that probably has to do with the fact that the frame is powder coated, and it, you know, as it vibrates, it kind of moves a little bit of that, either paint or powder coat, whatever it is. It kind of comes off, and you know, as the thing rattles. That's why we're going to hit all the motor mount bolts. I've seen brand new bikes with, you know, 60, 80 hours on them, so not brand new anymore, but whatever, have motor mounts loose. So, but if you take the bolts out of here, you'll see, like right there, it's kind of hard to tell, but they actually grind the paint off where the motor mount goes through. That's another quick tech tip. If you've got an older bike and you decide you want to powder coat the frame, make sure you grind all the powder coat off of the surfaces that have bolts and nuts on them, because otherwise they'll get super duper loose really fast, because it kind of crushes that powder coat and then they come loose and comes off. So anyway, gonna go around, hit all the ones we can, then I'll probably just put the plastic on here so that I can hit that and, you know, get everything done. So the cool thing about DeCal Works is if you have them make your custom shrouds or whatever, or custom graphics, they'll put them on a shroud. These are the cool new gray ones, looking super cool. They even come with the little metal collars already installed. It's seriously worth the money. I honestly don't remember what they charge, but it's worth every penny to not have to put these things on and just mount them up. So it's pretty rad. All right, guys, we got the 350 all dressed up. Oil's changed, air filter's clean and serviced. Got the new plastics on, which I think you guys will agree look real pretty. Again, Sean Murdoch, DeCal Works, you guys do such a good job. That just looks awesome. And just left to do, I got to put tires on it and grips on it and straighten out the handguards. Look at this. You can always tell when someone's crashed when the handguards look like that. Yeah, that's how I always judge someone coming down the trail. If they don't say that they crashed, I'm like, well, what about that? So yeah, straighten that thing up, put some new shields on that, so be ready to rock and roll. Zach got some awesome stuff done today. I made him work on another four-wheeler. He's super mad at me for that. He's been yelling all day. He's hiding. See? He's so angry. And then sadly I didn't do it, but he thought that I loosened the valve core on a tire that he had done because it was flat before the customer even picked it up. And I was like, oh dude, I don't know, it must have been something. And it turned out the valve core was loose. I really wish I could take credit for that. I really wish I could say that yes, that's what I did, but sadly not this time. But it does give me awesome ideas for in the future. I'm really super stoked for that. Guys, thank you for joining me. It's the end of the day. It's actually past the end of the day. I gotta get out of here. It's date night for me and my wife tonight. I love you guys. You know what I'm going to say. You got to get out. Spread the gospel of two wheels, and I hope that what me and the angriest man in motorcycles are doing is inspiring you to get out and ride your dirt bikes!